Thanks. Good morning. This hearing will come to order. Today's November 6, 2019, and this is a public hearing before the City of Englewood Local Liquor and Marijuana Licensing Authority to consider 3 applications for liquor licenses. I'm Kathy Guckenberger, and serving as the hearing officer for all of these matters. Thank you all for your patience as we're a little delayed getting underway. I'd like to first go over all the procedures that every applicant will go through, and then we'll go through the applications one by one in the following order. What Defoe for a hotel restaurant liquor license, then the filling station for a tavern liquor license, and McMullen's Irish Bar Limited for a tavern liquor license. So as I mentioned, this is being recorded. The hearings will be conducted pursuant to the procedures in the Englewood Municipal Code, and all persons giving testimony must spell their name and state their address for the record, and will be sworn in by the Deputy City Clerk, Ms. Jackie McKinnon, whom most of you have met. We'll start with Ms. McKinnon introducing the case and entering into evidence all documents pertinent to each application as we go through them. An applicant or representative thereof will present their case, providing any witnesses and exhibits in addition for my consideration. And just as a reminder, it's the applicant that has the burden to prove that all criteria for granting the license are satisfied. If there's anyone, do we have anyone signed up to speak on anything?
We do not have anybody.
Okay. If anyone does show up, if they qualify as a party in interest, they'll have a chance to testify either in favor or in opposition to your application. And those will be limited to 3 minutes if needed. I may have some questions for persons testifying, and I guess I don't see any opposition, so no cross-examination. And then after questions, if you want to present any additional information, then you will have that opportunity. So the ordinary rules of evidence don't apply. I'll take any kind of exhibits, relevant documents, relevant testimony without formal identification, but Ms. McKinnon will make a note of all exhibits received for the record. And after all testimony has been provided, I'll close the public hearing and either render a decision at the time or take it under advisement, but in either case, you'll receive a written decision based on what occurs today within 30 days of today. From Ms. McKinnon, I'll prepare it, but she'll transmit it to you. And if I need additional time to gather additional facts, then we'll do that too. Are there any questions about the procedure? All right, seeing none, let's start with our first case on the agenda. And we're going to consider the application of What Defoe LLC, which is seeking a hotel and restaurant liquor license to be located at 501 West Hampden Avenue in Englewood, 80110. Ms. McKinnon, please introduce the case and enter into evidence all pertinent documents.
All right, we have city exhibits for What Defoe LLC, DBA What Defoe. Public hearing November 6, 2019. We have Exhibit A, the application, individual history record, financial questionnaire, floor plan, certificate of good standing, and lease. B, a certified letter advising the status of the application and notice of the public hearing was mailed from Jackie McKinnon, Deputy City Clerk of the City of Englewood, dated October 23rd, 2019, to What Defoe LLC, DBA What Defoe. Exhibit C, publisher's affidavit verifying that the notice of public hearing was published in the Englewood Herald on October 10th, 2019, and on the City of Englewood's website from September 27th, 2019 to November 6th, 2019. D, a memorandum dated December 21st from Will Charles, Planner 1, and actually it was December 21st, 2019. He works for the Englewood Department of Community.
December 20, what date?
It was December 21st, 2019.
2019, December, we haven't gotten to
2018, sorry.
Okay.
2018. You're right. All right. And he works for the Department of Community Development, and he verified compliance with zoning and distance requirements. Exhibit E, acceptance of neighborhood boundaries and affidavit posting a property. Exhibit F, maps indicating boundaries, Yale Avenue on the north, West Princeton Avenue on the south, Santa Fe Drive on the west, Clarkson Street on the east. Location of applicant, there's 22 other hotel and restaurant licenses, establishments within that set boundaries. And then we did have petitions from the applicant.
Oh, okay. And do I need to have a copy?
Let me, we had 62 signatures, 35 were not within the boundaries, which left 27 within the boundaries.
Of the neighborhood? Okay. right, let the record reflect that the authorities received, for purposes of this hearing, an original copy of the petitions on behalf of signatures of a petition circulated, I believe, by What Defoe, the applicant. Who will be testifying on behalf of the applicant? Okay, please step up to the rostrum, state your name and address, and ask, Ms. McKinnon will swear you in.
Hi, my first name is N-H-I, Ni, and last name is Truong, T-R-U-O-N-G, and I'm one of the owner of What Defoe, located on 501 West Hampden Avenue.
You can lower that little microphone a little bit if that's easier. Perfect. All right, go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this matter now being heard by the Englewood Liquor and Marijuana Licensing Authority?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
All right, I'd like you to make a presentation, please, about your business, the license you're applying for, because you're applying for a hotel and restaurant, about your food plans, the hours in which you'll be serving that food. Anything else you'd like to tell me about your premises and your business? And I'll need to know about your petition, too, so if you can tell me about how you obtained these signatures.
So we are serving Vietnamese cuisine, and lots of customers have asking for the liquor license, like they want alcohol in our restaurant. And we have been waiting for a long time to get the license. And like the time we're gonna serve alcohol from 10:30 to 9 p.m. every day.
10:30 in the morning to 9
Yes.
in the evening. And will you be serving meals during those times?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware, well, after 8, so meals all the way till 9 o'clock at night? Okay. And are you aware that per state liquor licensing law, that 25% of your revenue must come from food?
Yes.
Okay. All right, if you could tell me about how you obtained the signatures, what process you went through, and who signed them generally, in a general description.
So we went around all the neighborhoods, like the houses, and also the business, like some of the banks around us. And the employees also helped to go around to get some signatures from the neighborhood. Sorry, we went too far, like out of the boundary for some of the signatures.
Of the neighborhood that you signed on to accept. Did you use just this one piece of paper and take it out for circulation?
Yes.
Okay. So can you tell me, did you ask questions? Did you
Yes, we
show this to the people? Tell me about that conversation that you had.
Yeah, we asked them, like, they have known us, like, since we were open, and then we asked if they are okay for us to have a liquor license at our restaurant, and will they come and enjoy, like, the food and also the drinks, and they say yes, and they signed for us.
Well, let the record reflect that without identifying which residents or signatories are in and out of the neighborhood, I see nothing but yeses checked on this petition. So it looks like out of the 62 that were obtained, although 35 did not qualify, the remainder were in favor of your liquor license, the liquor license that you're seeking today?
Yes.
Okay. And who's the manager?
We don't have the manager, just me and another owner.
Okay.
It's a manager too, so.
Okay. And I had one question about your lease. So the lease indicates that it is you and your co-owner both signing on the lease?
Yes.
And not your company, which is What Defoe LLC. And state and local liquor laws require that the lease be in the name of the applicant for the liquor license. So the lease has to be signed by What Defoe LLC, and then one of you, as one of the owners, can sign as a representative of that corporation, the limited liability corporation. So your lease technically, as I read it, does not comply with state liquor law and authorize you to have the liquor license. I wanted to let you know that, but I will account for that in my decision. If you have any questions on that, Ms. McKinnon can help answer that after we get through this process, okay?
Okay, thank you so
All right.
much.
Is there anything else you need to tell me or would like to tell me about your business plan, and serving the liquor license? Who's going to be serving the liquor? What kind of training they have? What kind of identification you'll be checking for? Things like that.
Me and my co-owner, we are both have the certificate for tips training to serve alcohol. And first, we're gonna serve for about a month until all the employees get the tip training certificate, and then we will let the staff serving alcohol to customers.
Once they're trained under the tips, okay? All right. Well, thank you. I see, is there anyone else here that wants to speak in favor of the application or in opposition? Seeing none. Well, I believe the applicant and all parties in interest present today have testified, and on that basis, I'm going to declare the public hearing on this application closed and deliberate here and render a decision. So I'm going to conditionally approve your application for What Defoe based on the following findings of fact. So I find that the notice of hearing was posted as required by law and published in a newspaper of general circulation, also as required by law. I find that based on the testimony of the applicant and based on the signatures obtained that are qualifying in the petition circulation process, that there is a need and desire for an additional liquor license at this location based on the reasonable requirements of the neighborhood and the desires of the adult inhabitants of that neighborhood. I also find that the existing liquor licenses of the same class are inadequate to serve the thirst needs of the neighborhood based on that same evidence. I find that both owners of the applicant are of good moral character and not otherwise prohibited as a licensee under Colorado law, and that the business is properly located and zoned and not in violation of the distance restrictions applicable to schools. However, and I also find that a tavern license has not been denied for the same premises or for one within 500 feet within the past 2 years, and that the premises are suitable based on a review of the plans, and that there's no unlawful multiple ownership of licenses or interest by the applicant. However, I do find that based on my earlier statements that the applicant does not currently have the right to possess the premises. So what I am going to do is approve conditionally your application. The condition is that you need to submit a revised lease to Ms. McKinnon, who will provide it to me as proof that the What Defoe LLC holds the lease, so that you require or fulfill the requirement of having possession of the premises as a business and as the license holder. And once you do that, then the license will be able to be issued to you. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Again, a written decision will come on that within 30 days. Okay. So we'll move on to the next matter, which is, according to our agenda, the Filling Station Brewery LLC, doing business as the filling station. And, yes, ma'am. Oh, we've got petitions. Yes, thank you. Take you those back. Let the record reflect that I have received petitions regarding the applicant that we are hearing next. So we'll discuss that. So the Filling Station Brewery LLC, which is seeking a tavern liquor license to be located at 3242 South Acoma Street in Englewood, 80110. Ms. McKinnon, please introduce the case and enter all documents into evidence.
Thank you. The Filling Station Brewery LLC, DBA The Filling Station, hearing date November 6, 2019. City exhibits is Exhibit A, the application, individual history record, financial questionnaire, floor plan, certificate of good standing and lease. B, a certified letter advising the status of the application and notice of public hearing was mailed from Jackie McKinnon, Deputy City Clerk of the City of Englewood, dated October 23rd, 2019, for the Filling Station Brewery LLC, DBA The Filling Station. C, publisher's affidavit verifying the notice of public hearing was published in the Englewood Herald on October 10th, 2019, and on the City of Englewood's website from September 27th, 2019 to November 6th, 2019. Exhibit D, memorandum dated September 21st, 2019, from Will Charles, 1, for Englewood Department of Community Development, verifying compliance with zoning and distance requirements. Exhibit E, acceptance of neighborhood boundaries, affidavit of posting of property. Exhibit F, maps indicating boundaries, West Iliff Avenue on the north, East Oxford Avenue on the south, Santa Fe Drive on the east, Emerson Street on the south, or no, that's the north, sorry. 1 second.
Iliff on the north and Emerson on the south, Santa Fe on the
What's
west?
Emerson
Oh,
Street
no.
on the east, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah, sorry.
Location of, there's 5 other applicants or other or tavern liquor licenses within their set neighborhood boundaries. And then we had the applicants' exhibits of the petitions that I've just given you.
All right. Who will be speaking on behalf of the applicant? Please step forward, state your name and address, and Ms. McKinnon will swear you in.
My name is Andy Hawker. You want my personal address or the business address? Does it matter?
Either.
Okay, 3242 South Tacoma, Englewood, Colorado.
So go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this matter now being heard by the Englewood Liquor and Marijuana Licensing Authority?
I do.
Great, thank you.
All right, you kind of know the drill, but I'd like to have you tell me a little bit about your business, the license that you're seeking, the service, all of that.
Sure, you bet. So our business concept is kind of the classic craft tap house, craft beer tap house, craft beer and wine. But with the addition of being open in the morning with coffee. So we want to create a space, really a third space for people in the community to be able to gather, come in and meet with people, book clubs, whatever. And then transition in the afternoon, obviously to serving beer and wine. Hours of operation really are during the week, most craft beer places close around 9 o'clock, which is really our typical, what we plan to do. Friday and Saturday, probably 11 o'clock. It really just depends on how much business there is, but not your typical 2 in the morning. We've got a beautiful patio space, so we want to create a space where families can be and gather and have some outdoor games as well as board games. The theme of the place, the filling station, is based upon old gas station memorabilia, Americana, that kind of thing, and we plan to decorate it as such, and really just be a place that we can get to know the people in the neighborhood in Englewood.
All right. Do you plan on serving any food of what?
We do not. We have a space where we can have food trucks, but we also want to be able to really partner with and capitalize on the other great food establishments in the area.
So you're required by state liquor law to serve sandwiches and light snacks during your hours of
Yes.
liquor service?
Yes,
So,
that we will have.
and how are you going
Not
to-
sandwiches, but snacks.
How are you going to accomplish that? What kind of snacks?
Probably in the form of like small bag chips, pretzels, that kind of thing. We considered popcorn, but in talking to other establishments, that's a mess. It's a nightmare. We're going to stay away from that.
And I have in front of me the premises. It looks like the patio is, I'm pointing to the right side of the diagram with
Yes.
some shades. This is all outdoor.
Yes.
And this is indoor here with restrooms and indoor here as well. It looks like the bar area is over here at the top of the diagram.
Yep, that's correct.
And are you planning on serving liquor within the entire outline here?
Yes.
So that's the licensed premises, okay, and I see you do have a food truck area, which is within a fence. So that is not included in the liquor license premises, so people wouldn't be able to bring their drinks, alcoholic beverages outside to the food truck area?
Correct, and the reason we did that was to limit our overall square footage, so we had the right number of restrooms and so forth. So the design is that the food truck, when it pulls in there, people can come up to the fence and order their food at the food truck without having to go outside of the fence. But yeah, there would be no alcohol.
Okay.
at the fence.
All right, thank you for that.
You bet.
And you're the registered manager there for this application?
My wife and I, yes.
Both of you, okay. All right, can you tell me about your petition, your circulation process, how that went?
Sure. We spent the day of the block party going around and meeting people. That was a great opportunity because there's a lot of people there. And we spent 3 different days getting signatures, not all day, of course, but the block party, we walked around the businesses and then the street there. We did go up and down the street, Acoma, and knocked on doors to get signatures there. And then we also spent another period of time in some of the businesses that are just then south on Acoma. Well, not Acoma, but just south there. And that, I guess that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am seeing that there are 62 signatures that you obtained. Was it, who did that? You said we. Was that you and your wife? Did
Yep,
you
we
do
did
it
it all
together?
together. Yep.
Okay. And it looks like from the petitions in front of me that everyone who signed said that they were in favor of your application and the license that you seek, to not being within the neighborhood boundaries, but so that leaves 60 signatures in favor of your application. So is there anything else you'd like to tell me about your business, about certification for serving alcohol, how that all is happening or has happened?
I'm not sure I understood the question.
Well, for instance, the prior applicant mentioned that they had received certification in what's called TIPS training from the State Liquor Division, which tells you things to look for in checking IDs and things of
Right.
that nature.
We've not done that yet, but obviously that we will do the training. I'm aware of that from, really, it's been a 3-year process of trying to get here. But when we were looking at being a brewery, that was one of the things that we were doing was the TIPS training. We just didn't do that because my brewer ended up leaving, and so we redid our business plan.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so we are not certified yet, but we will be. I don't know if that's,
It's not a requirement for the license application, but I highly recommend it, especially if it's your first venture into this arena.
sure.
Knowing what to look for. And one thing we know is those who aren't allowed to be served are always one step ahead of the process. So,
I believe it. Memory serves, I was too.
yes. So, all right. So I see no other parties here. You have nothing further to add, correct? Okay.
No, I don't.
And I see no one else here asking to testify either in favor or in opposition to the application, so I'm going to close the public hearing on this application and render my decision. And I approve applicant's application based on the following findings of fact: that the notice of hearing was posted in a conspicuous place and published in a newspaper of circulation as required by law, that there's a need and desire for this license and an additional outlet based on the reasonable requirements of the neighborhood and the desires of its adult inhabitants, and that the existing liquor license classes of the same class are inadequate to serve the thirst needs of the neighborhood. I find that applicant and both owners, the registered managers, are of good moral character and not otherwise prohibited as licensees under Colorado law, and that the applicant is in legal possession of the premises according to the lease provided to this authority, that the business is properly located in the zone, in an appropriate zone, and not within 500 feet of a school, as prohibited by law, and that a tavern license has not been denied for the same premises or one within 500 feet within the past 2 years. Finally, I find that the premises are suitable based on a review of the plans submitted, and that there does not exist an unlawful multiple ownership of licenses or interests. So, or that there, and I also find that there's not an undue concentration of the same class of this kind of liquor license in the area. No conditions on that application, so congratulations. I'll be issuing you or preparing a written decision on this matter that you'll receive within 30 days.
Great, thank
All
you.
right, thank you so much. And moving on to the last matter, let me switch out the petitions with Ms. McKinnon. And, all right. Moving on to the next and final matter on our agenda, which is the tavern liquor license application from McMullen's Irish Bar Limited. So, find my place. All right. So this is the application of McMullen's Irish Bar Limited, which is seeking a tavern liquor license to be located at 3467 South Broadway in Englewood, 80113. Ms. McKinnon, please introduce the case and its evidence.
Thank you. McMullen's Irish Bar LTD, DBA McMullen's. We have Exhibit A, the application, individual history record, financial questionnaire, floor plan, certificate of good standing, and lease. We have Exhibit B, a certified letter advising of the status of the application and notice of public hearing was mailed from Jackie McKinnon, Deputy City Clerk, the City of Englewood, dated October 23rd, to McMullen's Irish Bar LTD, DBA McMullen's. Exhibit C, publisher's affidavit verifying that the notice of public hearing was published in the Englewood Herald on October 10th, 2019, and on the City of Englewood website from September 27th, 2019 to November 6th, 2019. A memorandum dated September 16, 2019 from Will Charles, Planner 1 for Englewood Department of Community Development, verifying compliance with zoning and distancing requirements. Exhibit E, acceptance of neighborhood boundaries, affidavit of posting. Exhibit F, maps indicating boundaries, Harvard Avenue on the north, East Quincy Avenue on the south, Santa Fe Drive on the west, South Ogden Street on the east. Location of applicant has 5 other tavern liquor license establishments within that set boundaries. And then I've handed you the applicant's exhibits with the petitions.
Thank you. All right, who will be speaking on behalf of the applicant? Please approach. You know the drill. Name, address, and get sworn in, please.
Michael Feely, 3467 South Broadway,
Okay, go ahead.
Englewood.
All right.
Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this matter now being heard by the Englewood Liquor and Marijuana Licensing Authority? Okay, perfect.
Please present your application.
McMullen's Irish Bar. We are hoping to be a sort of community hub for sports viewership and general kind of merriment. We're going to be serving beer and liquor in the mornings, at the weekends. Because of the time difference, we're able to show European sports. There's talking to the some of the locals. There's quite a lot of interest in soccer in the mornings.
Premier League.
My personal preference is rugby, but we'll show that at the same time. Saturday and Sunday mornings, and then on Saturday and Sunday afternoons, evenings, we'll be showing traditional American sports, the same throughout the week. We hope to have some live music in there, maybe once in a while, or open mic night, stuff like that. We've gone to a lot of effort to really clean the place up. The Paradox Lounge wasn't in the best of shape when we took it over. We want to offer a clean, safe, friendly environment that's welcoming to everyone. Hopefully they enjoy it.
All right. And so what hours will you be open and serving alcohol?
Monday through Thursday will be 12 till 12. Friday will be 12 till 2 a.m. Saturday will be 7 a.m. till 2 a.m. Sunday will be 7 a.m. till around 11, maybe 12, depends. The school night.
Serving the liquor will be within the hours as required by
Within
state
those
law?
hours, yes.
Oh, okay. And what kind of food or light snacks will you have available?
Chips, nuts, pretzels. I'm from England. I'm going to import various snacks for different people. Twiglets is a kind of chip. They're very popular. We're going to have things like jerky. I'm in the process of making arrangements with the Breakfast Queen across the street to cater sandwiches for us on Saturday and Sunday mornings when we're showing the Premiership Soccer or the Premiership Rugby. And then I was just going to go to the various other restaurants around within a few blocks, collect menus, let people call up. They can order it. If they want to bring food in, they can. But otherwise, we'll have sandwiches or chips, nuts, pretzels, things like that available.
All right. And who will be serving the alcoholic beverages?
I will, and my staff.
And have you received the training from the state liquor?
We have not. We will all be doing the TIPS training. I have a personal license and various other certifications from back home. Obviously, the law's a bit different here, but many of the principles are the same. Checking IDs, we're actually going to get the scanners, take the human error out of it so that you can swipe it, you know it's a legitimate ID, state ID. We're actually aiming to make the bar over 25s, just to try and keep some of the younger crowd out, keep it more calm for some of the clientele.
Okay, and can you tell me about the signatures you obtained, the process by which you obtained them?
Yep. Went around to various of the local businesses, talking to the owners. Some of them I managed to catch again, got a signature. I got very good at catching people looking through the window at the front of the building as I was working, and I would run out and say, hey, how you doing? Go and get those guys to sign. I've been around to some of the other bars, spoke to the staff, some of the regulars, knocked on some doors. Everyone's pretty excited. They want to watch the sport. They're looking forward to an Irish pub, they seem to think.
And,
Fun.
yep, great. So my notes indicate that you obtained 48 signatures, of which only 3 are disqualified because they were not within the boundaries, and that all of the signatures obtained indicated that they were in favor of your application. So is there anything else you would like to tell me about your application or your business plan, or your premises? I think it's pretty straightforward setup, right? Do you have a patio? You have a patio out front, is that correct?
There's a space out front. I will eventually get the permit and we'll put a patio space there. I'm not worried about that for now for the winter, because people aren't really going to be outside. But I just wanted that covered in the license so we didn't have to redo it. And then out the back, there's like a parking space underneath and next to the stairs for the deck above. And I have cold storage there. It's just a storage container. It's got a chiller unit on the front, and we'll store cases of beer in there. And that's going to be all fenced off and padlocked and shut and alarmed.
And part of the part of your application then, for the premises for your application. Okay. All right. I see no one here to testify on this application, either in favor or in opposition. So, I did have one other question. Your lease says that the address is in Exhibit A, but Exhibit A says it's to be attached. I just note that it looks like Exhibit B is very clear about what the address is for the premises. So it's just a little fluke in your lease documents, but it doesn't indicate that you're anything other than you're entitled to possession of the premises, or that the applicant is. So seeing that, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed and render my decision on this application at this point. I approve applicant's application based on the fact that the notice of hearing was posted and published in a newspaper of general circulation as required by law, that there's a need and desire for this additional outlet based on the reasonable requirements of the designated neighborhood and the desires of the adult inhabitants therein, and also based on the well, I find that the existing liquor licenses of the same class are inadequate to serve the thirst needs of the neighborhood. Both of those findings being made based on the petitions submitted by the applicant and by the lack of any opposition. And I'll further find the applicant and its registered manager are of good moral character and not otherwise prohibited as a licensee under Colorado law. That the applicant's in legal possession of the premises according to the lease provided to this authority and is not located within, that the business is not located within 500 feet of a school as measured by the most direct route of pedestrian access, and the proposed use is permissible under the zoning district in which it is located. I further find that a tavern license has not been denied for the same premises or one within 500 feet within the past 2 years, that the premises are suitable based on a review of the plans submitted, that there does not exist unlawful multiple ownership of licenses or interest by the applicant, and that there is not any evidence of an undue concentration of this type of license in the area. And therefore, your application is approved, and you'll receive a decision on this within 30 days. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you all very much. Seeing no further business on this agenda, I'll adjourn the meeting.